There's a very specific reason, in actual fact, why my company is called 5I Strategic Affairs. Because the 5 I's represent the 5 steps in the strategic planning process that I use in small companies, large companies, non-profit organizations, multinationals, it doesn't matter. Those 5 I's really represent the recipe through which we need to move in order to make sure a strategic plan is successful and that it's going to be implemented. So let me explain a little bit what the 5 different I's are. The first I stands for issues. Now an issue can be positive, it can be negative. If I have $5 million in the bank, it's an issue because it's going to affect what I can do in the future. If I'm $5 million in debt, it's also going to impact what I can do. So an issue, positive and negative, but what we're trying to do through that first I, which is often a series of discussions with a group of executives, is trying to get everybody on the same page as to what the issues are today in our organization. And there could be issues around the customer, around our production processes, around our people. The important thing is to hear different voices, get diversity, and really get a common picture. What are the issues we're facing today? So that's step 1. Then we move on to what the fun part of strategic planning really, which is using our imagination, which is the second I. That's where scenario planning, looking at different alternatives that we could do, and really trying to think, using that famous phrase, outside the box, of trying to, what could we do in all the next 2, 3, 5 years as we see the environment changing, the competitors changing, technology changing, what might we do to be successful? So again, that's a matter of sometimes even bringing in different voices into the conversation, younger people, different parts of the world, sometimes even customers in there to actually see how are their needs going to change over the coming years. So we have some fun, and if we've really done the issues well and got everybody on the same page, and then explored all the alternatives, by taking everybody through that process, what emerges is the third I, which is what we call the strategic intent. Now, intent can be vision, it can be objective, it can be goal. I don't really care about the terminology, but the important thing is, by having explored all the alternatives and really done some deep analysis of them, if we've managed the group well, the obvious intention of where this group of people want to go emerges out of the conversation. So what seemed like a really big decision at the beginning of the process, it actually becomes really straightforward. Everybody can see clearly this is where we need to go. So having done that, that's the third I complete. The upfront part of the strategic planning process is finished. Now what we need to do is innovate. And innovation is the fourth I, which is really when we say, okay, let's take our vision of our intention of where we're going and make it happen, which these days is often around things like strategic mapping, coming up with a balanced scorecard, really putting clear objectives in place as to what we need to do in order to get to our goal. It's the equivalent of the Google map. If the issues are point A on our Google map, our strategic intent is our point B. Literally, our strategic map tells us literally what are the exact steps we need to do in order to get there. The fifth I is perhaps the most important one, is called impact. If we don't do this fifth I, we won't actually have any impact. We won't achieve any change. And this is when we really get into setting clear targets and putting in a lot of project management tools, even a PMO, a project management office, etc., and really doing some strong follow-up in separate meetings with the same team, usually on a monthly basis, to make sure the changes that we've decided to implement do actually get implemented. And the only way that gets done is by measuring and doing following up. So those are the 5 I's. And if you follow that process, you will find that you will be able to come up with a solid plan that gets implemented.